The utilization of grafted tomato plants here in the United States is relatively new. However, it's been going on worldwide for almost a century now. One of the main reasons they utilize grafted plants is because they're growing in high tunnels over in these other places. Now, high tunnels are unheated, passive thermal greenhouses, and many growers here in the United States are also starting to grow in high tunnels as well. The real benefit to grafting is that we get to utilize interspecific hybrid rootstocks, which oftentimes have tolerance to abiotic stressors like soil salinity, thermal stress, or sometimes even drought and other issues, and also to biotic stressors such as soil-borne diseases that enter the plant through the root system. Here at Kansas State University, we've been doing research with grafted plants in high tunnels for several years now. One of the primary benefits to grafting in the southeast U.S. is to manage diseases like bacterial wilt, southern blight, and root knot nematodes. Here in Kansas, we don't necessarily have a lot of disease pressure from these soil-borne plant pathogens. However, growers are still realizing a lot of benefits from the use of vigorous rootstocks. So one of the really cool things about working with grafted plants and doing research in this area is it gives us the opportunity to do a lot of on-farm research with commercial growers. Here at Geringer's Orchards, Frank and Melanie Geringer have 6 high tunnels, and we started doing grafting trials with them in 2011. Since this time, the Geringers have significantly increased the amount of grafted plants they're using, and actually this year all of their tunnels are full of grafted plants. Through on-farm research trials here at Geringer's Orchards and across the state, we've been able to identify vigorous rootstocks that really improve crop productivity in both conventional and organic systems. For example, a couple of the rootstocks that we've identified here at Geringer's Orchard can increase yield for them anywhere from 30 to 70% depending on the year. Typically in our high tunnel trials, we utilize one scion and several rootstocks so that we can identify a rootstock that does well in that specific region or growing system. This trial behind me is a little bit different. In this trial, we're actually looking at a rootstock and a non-grafted control, but grafted with about 10 different scions so we can see if there's a differential benefit grafting one scion compared to another. The availability of grafted plants in the United States is growing, but it's still relatively small. There's a number of seed companies that sell rootstock seed and also grafting clips so that you can graft your own plants on the farm. But in the last couple of years, there's also been a couple of nurseries that are now starting to sell grafted plants in large numbers to commercial growers. In the meantime, most of the growers that are using grafted plants in their high tunnels are probably grafting their own or having local propagators graft for them. There are a lot of great resources on the World Wide Web to learn more about grafting and the utilization of grafted plants. The website vegetablegrafting.org has a ton of great information from researchers across the country that are working with grafted plants. There's also a number of videos on YouTube and other places where you can learn more about the technique of grafting and rootstocks that could be suitable for your area.